You know, you gotta hand it to this film. It really captured the tone of Thor. Because like everybody else, when I think of Thor, I think of science fiction, lasers, and electric guitar! Woo! Thor! Fantasy! It's LazerDude time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review. I'll talk about movies and comics too. Let's all go watch the review. Yeah. Hello everybody, I am LazerDude. This is my review of Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok, the third movie in the Thor franchise. It, of course, stars Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, Cate Blanchett, Mark Ruffalo, and a host of others. So Thor Ragnarok is about Thor as he's confronted by this lady named Hela, who has tremendous powers because she is the goddess of death. Through some shenanigans, he gets launched across the universe and lands on this planet with his hammer broken, and he comes into contact with the Hulk who is there. There's a big pit fighting, so he now has to escape from this planet, get to Asgard, and somehow beat the goddess of death. And he comes across a lot of characters along the way, including some familiar ones like Hulk, and some new ones like Valkyrie. Now the thing that I want to get across right off the bat is that this is probably the most fun I've had at a Thor movie, period. If you remember way back when I reviewed the first one, I wasn't really a big fan of the first Thor movie. The second one I enjoyed, but I didn't really love because a lot of the characters were dull and bland. This one is so much fun, and yet in some ways, it's kind of weird to say, but that's unexpected and a little jarring. The reason I say that is because while it is so much fun, I mean, honestly, I was laughing hysterically at almost every scene in this movie. I was like, this is so much funny. I'm so enjoying this. There's a lot of really funny moments. From beginning to end, the pacing goes by really quick, and there's a lot of moments where I'm just like, man, that's funny. God, stop. Sheesh, I need a break to stop from this laughing. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, really? A Thor movie is doing this? Now don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I find it a little odd, actually. Like I said in the beginning, this movie, it feels like a science fiction, movie. There's lots of humor, there's lots of lasers, there's lots of rock and roll music. I swear, that because like how Wonder Woman's theme goes like, da-da-da. And they actually had in this movie that song that I said the Wonder Woman theme sounds like ow. I'm just like, seriously, like wow. But they had that rock and roll music in this movie. I'm like, why? What? I mean, kids are going to be so confused. They're going to be like, oh boy, Thor! I saw that movie. It was so fun and energetic and lots of lasers. Let's read the comic book. Huh? Say what you will about the first Thor movie, it had a lot of flaws, but it did feel like Thor. It felt fantasy. There were some science fiction elements in it, and it didn't feel as fantasy as it could be. The second one still felt science fiction-esque, but they still had one step in the fantasy with the dark elves stuff. This one is full science fiction comedy. Chris Hemsworth is Thor, and he is still very good. He still has a sense of humor that is full-on Thor, but he also can sell it when he needs to be intense. The kind of problem is there isn't a lot of intense scenes for him to do. I mean, his home is being destroyed, and all of his friends are being attacked and killed, and he's just like, I'm still gonna talk like this, and still be charming and handsome, and crack a couple of jokes, even though people that I care about have died. What are you gonna do? Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just like, this movie's pacing is so quick, it just goes. It's just like, in the first 5 minutes, every kind of loose end that was left over from the other movies is like tied up. Like the Doctor Strange part in the, in the end credit scene, that's tied up within the first 5-10 minutes. The whole Odin subplot, that's tied up in the first few minutes, and then we just move on. And the movie doesn't take a lot of time to slow down. But I think that really helps the comedy. You never know what happens next, and you're like, this is really funny. And it's even some jokes where I'm like, okay, they're going to do this, aren't they? They did that. But it's still kind of funny. Oh boy. Tom Hiddleston is back as Loki, and he's still fun. I think they do some things that like demean him a little bit. I'm like, come on, this was the big villain of Avengers. You know, you don't just demean the character like this. You can still make him menacing in some ways. But I think that's kind of the appeal of Loki, is he's just as pathetic as he is evil in some ways. So the fact that they took him down a peg in some spots, I'm okay with. I'm just like, you know, he should be able to do a little bit more than this. Kate Blanchett's Hela is a hella fine. She's really entertaining. I like that they give her some humorous moments, but I also like that they give her moments where she actually like fights. I find a lot of times when you get like women villains of power, they don't like fight their ways through their problem. They're just so powerful that they just like put a stick down and then everyone dies. And from the trailer, that's what I thought was going to happen. You know, there's a moment where she's up against like a whole Asgardian army. And she, you know, does it, and then in the trailer, just something happens, and we see a whole bunch of stuff blowing up. And so that's what I thought she was just going to go like, be gone with you, and then they all get massacred. But no, she goes at them, and she's fighting them, and she's using all of her power, and we're like, okay, this I can get behind. A villain who, you know, she might be all-powerful, but we get to see her use the power in more than just one quick swoop. She just tears through an entire army. It's really impressive. And I think Kate Blanchett actually plays the role pretty well. We get some laughs with her, but we still feel the menace. But I think because of stuff that's going on, we don't get as much with her as we would want. You know, she basically just sees Thor for the first time, they confront each other, they get separated, and then Thor's doing all this stuff with Jeff Goldblum's character over here, and then she's just doing her stuff on her own, but she doesn't even know that Thor's still alive. You know, there's not a whole lot of villain-hero build-up, you know, tension. For example, in The Dark Knight, the whole plot is about Joker and Batman, and everyone's always wondering what the other is doing and how the other is going to react. Where in here, one of the characters is just trying to get back to Asgard for most of it, and the other one, it doesn't even know the other one's alive. Not a lot to work off of there. But while there's not a lot of build-up between the hero-villain relationship, there is still menace that we can see that she has a dastardly scheme and that she needs to be stopped. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is in here, and I like that what they do with him and how he's like, you know, Hulk has a personality now because he's been Hulk for so long. Like, the last time we saw Hulk was in Avengers Age of Ultron, and I like how they say he's been Hulk since then. You know, he's just been Hulk since then, hasn't stopped being Hulk. So now, instead of him only being able to say something like Hulk smash, you know, he's actually able to form words. I'm like, okay, I like that. It's not just he can talk now just because. It's because he hasn't stopped being Banner. And the way like Thor works off of Hulk, I think is really, really funny. Hulk has a lot of funny moments in here that are bound to make people laughing. But it's not just like that Hulk is hilarious on his own. The way Thor works off of Hulk and Banner, both are very funny. The way he has to work off of Hulk to get Hulk to do stuff that he wants, and then when he has to eventually face off against Banner, and he's like, he has to do stuff with Banner in a different way, appeal to a different side. It's just really great. There's a lot of funny moments with that. We get this other character, Valkyrie, and I'm mixed feelings about her because she's fine, but the scenes with her, they're kind of repetitive. I mean, they basically start like this. You need to help me save Asgard. No. Okay. You need to help me save Asgard. No. Okay. You need to help me save Asgard. I'll help you save Asgard. Okay. They don't really go anywhere beyond the little bit of an exposition on, oh, who are you, what are you, and what's a Valkyrie, and everything, and beyond that, there's nothing much to her character. But as I said, I don't dislike her. I just didn't find her as interesting or as humorous as some of the other characters. Jeff Goldblum's character, the Grand Master, you know, it's just Jeff Goldblum, so it's not a whole lot of difference between it. But he's fun. There's a lot of funny lines with this character. And he's really interesting in that respect, and I actually think he's kind of fun. I would be almost okay with him coming back in a different Marvel movie, because he's just fun. You know what, though? I want to get into the spoiler talks of this review, so I'm going to give my rating right now. As I say, I think this is the most entertaining Thor movie out of all of them. It has the best jokes, it has the best fight scenes, it has a lot of the best character moments. It feels odd because the tone is so... It feels more Guardians of the Galaxy than Thor, but I like Guardians of the Galaxy, so in the same hand, I'm okay with it. So my rating for Thor Ragnarok is a 8 out of 10. I think this is a great movie. You know, I say how the tone doesn't feel like a Thor movie, but did I have fun? Yes. Was it very entertaining? Very. Were there memorable lines and jokes? Yes. Was the villain memorable? Sort of. Kind of. Could have been better, could have been worse. I think it's good. It's good enough. So yes. Oh, one thing though. What a waste of Karl Urban, okay? You know, I don't know how many people really care who Karl Urban is, but Karl Urban is like my guy whenever anybody says, oh, I wonder who should play this character. My go-to person is Karl Urban, because I think this guy's great. He was Dredd, he was Bones in Star Trek, and his first appearance in the Marvel movies, he's just the Executioner, just a dumb side villain. What a waste. Karl Urban, you should have waited for another character. But anyway, it is now time for the spoiler part of the review. This is my spoiler warning. If you have not seen this film, then you gotta go see it, and then you can come back to this part, and then we can have fun with that. So the first thing I want to say, I have one major pet peeve with this film. One big thing. Okay, Thor lands on this planet. And he's weakened because he just lost his hammer and everything. And he gets hit by this device that goes into his neck. And it keeps on stunning him. He goes, ugh! And they keep on using it. That's how they basically contain him on this planet. By using this thing to stun him and shock him every time. One question. How do you shock the God of Thunder? What? I mean, seriously, there's a scene where he has, like, lightning all over him, and he's, like, blasting things left, right, and center, and then he's like, what? I mean, seriously, if he has, like, heavenly lightning all over him, why is this little thing that just gives a little buzz, buzz, buzz? Why would he even feel it? That was my biggest pet peeve. I watched this movie with Chris and his wife, and I was just like, every time, I'm just like, how are they shocking the God of Thunder? That doesn't make sense. That's like trying to cook the Human Torch. It just doesn't work. This movie does go to places that I did not expect him to go. For one thing, Thor has no eye. What? That is pretty cool that they were able to, you know, that's going to be a thing. It's not like the next movie Thor's going to have his eye back. I love the advertising for this film. And it's for a reason that I'm not sure I would like in almost any other film, but I liked here. They lied all over that trailer. I mean, there's so many changes. Like, in the trailer, when Thor's hammer gets broken, it's in Asgard. It's not in Asgard, it's on Earth. In the trailer, Thor, when he lands and he's all electrified, he has both eyes. The trailer purposely misled certain things to the audience, and so when they happened, I was like, yikes! Because if we saw Thor land with an eye patch in the trailer, or that his eye missing in the trailer, we would have been like, oh yeah, okay, so we're going to see it in the movie. And so instead, when we see that scene in the movie and he gets his eye cut off, we're all like, holy shoot, what? If we're going to live in a day and age where people show way too much in the trailer, I want to live in the day and age where the trailer purposely misleads some details. You know, I want this to be a thing. Okay? And the other thing, Asgard is gone. It's gone. I love that twist with, instead of trying to prevent Ragnarok, because I was thinking, well, she wants to, like, go out and conquer the other realms, but that's not really Ragnarok. Ragnarok is specifically the destruction of Asgard. And that Thor has to cause Ragnarok in order to defeat Hela? I didn't see that coming. I should have, because they kept on saying she gets her powers from Asgard. I should have saw that coming, but I didn't, and the fact that it happened, I'm just like, yes, that is really cool. Because I was actually a little disappointed in the beginning, because they're just like talking about like Surtur, and he's like, they're making jokes, and he defeats Surtur really easily, and I was only disappointed because Surtur was a big build-up in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but he was canceled before they were actually able to do anything with him, and so it's just like, he was just this big hanging thread. They're like, yeah, we beat Galactus, everyone is fine, everyone's safe. I'm like, but wait, we got this big Surtur demon out there! So when he defeated him easy in the beginning, I'm just like, ah, whatever. But then when he actually destroys Asgard at the end, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay, the trailer was different. I like that. I like that. That's fun. So the movie does take you in places you weren't thinking they were going to take you. It's hilarious all the way through. I like what it does with the characters. I like all of the characters, except I don't dislike any of the characters. And so that's why I gave Thor Ragnarok an 8 out of 10. I wasn't expecting it to give something that high. I was thinking something out of 7 or something. But in my mind, I think Thor Ragnarok was a lot of fun. Definitely the best Thor movie out of all of them. And that's why I gave it what I gave it. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I am LazerDude. Adios. Be sure to check out some of these other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.